What's up everybody, and welcome to a different sort of video where I'll be talking about the Pac-Man Pocket Player made by My Arcade. Now this little handheld runs on 4 AAA batteries or micro USB, which opens the door for rechargeable batteries like this one. But overall power consumption, I would say that it's not terrible. I'm sure they could do something to make it require less batteries or make like a rechargeable battery, so you don't have to deal with buying batteries all the time. But if you use like a portable battery or just plug it into your wall, it's not bad. It's just defeats the purpose of it being handheld or portable, really. But I mean, whatever. The 4 AAAs are not terrible. The overall look of and feel of the device is actually really nice. I got mine, I think, 2019. So, yeah, seeing as this thing's lasted me a good while, it's solid, it's got some durability to it. Then again, I also take really good care of my stuff. So, yeah, the D-pad's solid, the buttons feel nice. Although everyone's biggest complaint that I've seen, after watching a couple reviews of this myself, is the speaker. Now, everyone has a right to be upset about how terrible the speaker is on this thing. However, when I tested it, I plugged some headphones in, and it sounded alright for the most part. It's not awful when plugging in headphones. There are still problems, but after having been using this thing for several years now, I find myself mostly using without volume, not because the speaker is bad, but because of the fact that I'm not going to sit in my room and play this when I have a ton of different other options to play the exact same games that are on here.
Okay, so this is mid-editing Jonathan, and I noticed I went on a tangent and didn't address why I don't play with volume. So the reason I don't typically play with volume is because, well, I'm not going to go in public and play the Pocket Player with the speaker on, because that would look dumb. So, yeah, I wouldn't play it with volume in public. And I'm not going to play in my room with the thing if I have other options, is what I was trying to say.
Which are Pac-Man, Pac-Mania, and Pac-Attack, or Pac-Panic as it is on here. These games run fairly well, but if you have a way to play these games portably already, like if you have like a Switch, and when Museum Plus comes out and you have a Switch, there is no need to buy this unless you want the handheld just to collect. Like, that's about what mine's gonna end up being, the collectible for the most part, once Museum Plus comes out. But as for the games themselves, I'm not a big fan of how these games are. Now, as you can see here, the game select really isn't all that. It's just yellow with light blue text and a red arrow. The version of Pac-Man on here seems to be its own version. It seems to be its own version because Blinky's going the wrong way and so does Pinky. So, it does have some AI differences. I haven't really played enough of this specific version of Pac-Man to tell if the ghost behaviors are intact. But, I mean, it's still Pac-Man nonetheless. It's Pac-Man. The version of Pac-Mania they use is the Sega Genesis version, and I'm not a big fan of that. Can probably guarantee that this thing could have run the GBA version of this game. They probably could have just slapped the GBA Pac-Man collection on here and called it a day, and I wouldn't have even questioned it because those games on there are great, and it would have Pac-Man arrangement. And I fully believe that a device in 2018 could have run a GBA game. But yeah, so as you'll see here, that speaker quality everyone's talking about. And yeah, so you'll see here, it's the Sega Genesis version. And I've also noticed that there's this bug up here across the top of the maze, and it affects every single level. It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't make the game unplayable. I mean, that's seen here. But I don't know if this is a Sega Genesis version problem, or if this is just the handheld being crappy. Probably just the handheld being crappy. And then Pac-Maniac, there's really not much to say about it other than bad speaker go burr. Yeah, it plays fine on here. It doesn't have the versus mode, but I mean, I wouldn't have expected it to. The password system in the puzzle mode is still here, so you can still, you know, save your puzzle progress. And one complaint I haven't seen anybody point out about this thing is that it doesn't save your high scores. So, for a bunch of high score based games, it would make sense if they had, you know, actually saved your high score. But I mean, I haven't found myself really worrying about it anyway. If you just want to play the games and have a mostly cheap option, I mean, $30 is a bit much for one of these, which is about what they cost. But if you can get them cheap online somewhere and you are dead set on having one of these, go for it. Just know what you're getting into. So, yeah, that's my review of the My Arcade Pac-Man Pocket Player from 2018. I hope you enjoyed my review. Make sure you join my Discord server, and I'll see you all later.